Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to this session, to this very important discussion. I'm Katya Soldak. I'm the editorial director of international editions for Forbes Media. Although I am born and raised in Ukraine, but I live in New York for over 20 years, and I work with editions that we have in Europe and Africa. And before we go into discussion, I want to say that I work very closely with Forbes Poland and Forbes Ukraine, and other editions as well. But these are our strongest editions in Europe. And it also indicates that business communities in both countries are very strong and very powerful, and the countries are neighbors, and the conversation about business cooperation in such difficult time, it only makes sense. And I'm glad that we have panelists here who represent different sectors of Polish business and Ukrainian initiatives. And I would like each panelist to introduce themselves, say what organization you represent, and then we're going to take it from there.
From my side, I'm Alexander Romanishin. I represent the State Agency of Restoration of Ukraine.
Okay, you?
I'm Wojtek Kostrzewa, president of Polish Business Roundtable, which is an organization of private individual entrepreneurs, the most influential one in the country. And it is important to stress that we don't have corporate membership, but just individual members. And we as an organization were in the forefront of support to Ukraine from the very first day of the full-scale invasion.
Okay, thank you.
Bartłomiej Babuška, President of the Board of the Industrial Development Agency, the main structure of our Polish government to support industrial and business in Poland.
Okay, thank you very much. And we know
Artem Rudchenko, Deputy Minister for Development. I was happy to see my boss, actually, because we're always somewhere in the regions. Now I saw him. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We would like to start with Wojtek Kostrzewa, who's going to tell us about business community in Poland and what kind of role business community plays during these past 4 years and how it changed throughout the years.
Katya, thank you very much. And it was not scheduled and not planned, but it is because of the last 5 days. On Saturday, when we realized the frosty winter in Kiev, and when friends from Kiev made an appeal to the Polish citizens and Polish NGOs and business community to support them while sending the emergency aggregates for heat and electricity, there was amazing response from very normal average Poles and from business community, which was for me like a déjà vu compared to the February and March 2022. More than 50,000 people donated money, and the first aggregates are already on the way to Kiev, and I guess they will reach other cities of Ukraine. Why I'm mentioning this? This is the true test of solidarity and true proof that the neighbors are reacting following hard and not the boats and internet-based hybrid warfare. And please believe me, we all share the pain with your compatriots, and we hope that this period of winter and of suffering will end as soon as possible.
Thank you for the support. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to ask our Ukrainian representatives, there is an opinion that talking about recovery and reconstruction is premature when the war is still going on. And I know that that's not what business communities are thinking. Can you please explain a little bit more about this? Why we're talking about it now and what's behind it?
Of course, it's the position of the country and the president of Ukraine, as I mentioned during the presentation. But if we look on the issue of Ukraine and Europe generally as part of geopolitical issue. The faster and the more we recover, rebuild, restore today, the less job we have tomorrow. So we have no choice. We have our country, we are Europe, and we have to go forward together. And that's why we don't have to lose time. Ukraine was a wonderful country with good business, with good economy, just before the enemy entered our territory. We lose people, we lose territory, we lose time. And this is time not only about Ukraine, it's time about Europe. Because we see all the security issues, we see all the managements, what we are going on geopolitically, even here in Davos today. Everyone is focused on these issues. Ukraine is not the only one country who faces the issues. That's why we're, once again, to underline, thankful to Poland, to our neighbor, and we're thankful to every country who supports Ukraine, which supports Ukraine, every day and every night.
Alexander, would you like to add something?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very important to understand that Ukrainian business right now operate globally. And when I say globally, it's literally globally. So it means that Poland, for example, hosted tens of thousands Ukrainian companies which incorporated here. They pay taxes in Poland. I can say one number. It's 2 billion zlotys is paid to Polish pension fund from Ukrainian companies who incorporated here. A lot of companies relocated business here. So why? Just to have this contingency, because we have a lot of contracts from international partners and we have obligation to perform these contracts. And Poland, Germany hosted our businesses, provided industrial zones in industrial parks, provided some incentives, credits, loans, security, guarantees. So all this stuff helps to continue the business as usual, as we may say it in this world. But yeah, it's only Polish example. I will later elaborate more, but just to on top of that Artem said.
And Mr. Babushka, what do you think about it, about the conversations and preparations for recovery and rebuilding when we still have this unresolved situation?
My approach is very practical and business approach. I think that the main direction of Polish participation in rebuilding Ukraine should be rebuilding of infrastructure and logistics. We all know, should remember that the amount of Polish export to Ukraine last year was $14 billion. That's why I want to understand rebuilding Ukraine as a rebuilding Ukraine, helping Ukraine, but also supporting Polish industry, Polish business to develop amount of Polish export. We need to consider Ukraine not only as a target market. Ukraine in the future is also gate for all the Middle East. That's why I want to consider taking a part in sea transport sphere, and I think that we have a time for thinking about first in Polish history port on the Black Sea. So I want to support Polish business, helping Ukraine, developing infrastructure also for high-tech, for food, high-tech technology. We need to build cold storage in Ukraine to help Polish export. But also, we want to cooperate with Ukraine enterprises in Poland. My company owned 4 special economic zones. We want to cooperate with the verified drones technology, and we want to start produce the best drones in the world in Poland with our Ukrainian friends. I can say, to be honest, we started to do it. So there's few main direction what I think we need to underline today. The next one, I think, I will tell you in the next minute.
Wonderful, thank you. So we all agree that it's time to talk about it, and there's already a lot going on. Well, let me just ask each panelist about the work that your organizations and you personally do or involved, so we get a better understanding of what's happening in each one of your worlds. And Alexander, let's start with you.
I will start. Well, I joined the advisory team of the State Agency for Restoration. But actually, I'm a former Deputy Minister of Economy of Ukraine, so I understand the government from inside. And before that, 10 years in Ernst & Young, EY, doing audit, merger and acquisitions, due diligence, so I love numbers. And I'm joined team to help with the evidence-based policy, data-driven solutions, and how to attract international community for these evidence-based projects which we have. So my task is to engage business community outside of Ukraine, particularly targeting diaspora business and the friends of Ukraine. So it's my KPI, if I may say.
What do you call diaspora businesses?
Diaspora businesses is a businesses which incorporated by Ukrainians from different generations in Poland, in UK, in the United States. So we did studies, but I will share the numbers a little bit later. Don't monopolize time for introductions. So we know how many diaspora businesses created. So how we integrated already in the EU economy. So, and we are talking about to join EU to Ukraine. It's a tricky question because many Ukrainian companies in Poland, Germany already there. So we can say we already integrated. So in terms of export and in terms of doing business from both sides. So yeah, I can tell a lot about diaspora businesses, and we will
Step by step.
Step by step.
Do you see the increase in the number of those businesses since the beginning of the full-scale invasion?
Well, you know, if you're speaking about Ukrainian spirit, it's about entrepreneurship in DNA. So, and people when come to new country, sometimes it's difficult to be integrated in the legacy, to be employed. And we start to investigate what is the niche, what we can do, what we can bring. Like you mentioned about drone. We can bring drone technology to any industrial zone which you propose and to make joint ventures, so and start doing business. So, and I would say that, for example, in Poland, more companies incorporated by Ukrainians, and they hire Ukrainians as well. So we like a part of the ecosystem. Numbers is growing. So over 50,000, I would say, if maybe someone for expert can, if I mistake. But for my numbers, I remember 50,000 of Ukrainian business already in Poland. So and numbers is growing actually. It's growing.
That's a very high number. Right?
Even closer to 80, according to my very recent estimates, and the number is growing. And I think that, you know, in this round, I'm the only entrepreneur in the current position. I understand that this was partly your job in your position with EY, but it is extremely important that we are promoting and accelerating the networking between the business communities, both from Ukraine and from Poland. And you asked Katya, why are we discussing today during the war about recovery and reconstruction? And I think there is a very good example. I have some part of my business activities in Switzerland, and 25 years ago I got very surprised that Swiss companies are planning very often for 3 years ahead in a quite detailed manner. But I think this is exactly what you have to do. Someday the war will be over, and you have to be prepared. The more you do now in terms of preparation, the easier will be the way looking forward. And well, we have to do it. We have to work on joint relationship. We have to work on various instruments, because we should be open. We will need a number of special instruments which will require state intervention, like insurance instruments to protect against maybe sabotage, maybe kind of welfare activity, and so on, and to encourage the business from both countries. And don't forget that every third party from Germany, UK, France, Italy will first look what is the status of the cooperation between Polish and Ukrainian businesses, because this is the litmus test, and it's obvious. It is in the interest of both communities and both nations to do what we can do best, just to cooperate.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Great plan. So I would like to ask you, what sectors do you think are having the best potential for cooperation, and whether you need more help or more better coordination with Ukraine's Ministry of Reconstruction?
So we will continue.
Yes.
One hour ago, we were talking with Mr. Minister, and 1 week ago I was in Kiev, 3 days with Minister Posadzki, and we were very hard working about first project, because we must to start with something. We must to have an indicator of our cooperation. We should prove international community that Poland and Ukraine can show how to cooperate, how to do it. We should find one project and start to developing. And we described this project. It was one of a project on the list which we got from the Ukrainian side, in the result of a memorandum from Rome, because IRP, our company, during President Balchun, former CEO of IRP, we signed a memorandum between Poland and Ukraine. And the result of this memorandum, our friends from Ukraine presented us a list of potential projects. We decide to start talking about express highway from Szegini to Lviv. And we want to describe and prepare financing structure of this project. We want to prepare business plan. We want to be ready in Jan on our conference, URC, with a G2G agreement, government-to-government agreement, and if in a frame of this agreement, I'm sure we must to start to work, and this is what I'm sure we will deliver in the nearest few months. So, as you see, logistic, transportation, first step, and indicator how to do it. I want to learn on this example how to act next.
But it sounds very ambitious, and I hope that it's going to work.
Is not very ambitious.
Well, in the current environment, I think it is.
I know, but you should remember that the first steps are planning, are the procedures. I think we have 1 or 1.5 years to start building. So it's not very dangerous just now.
More dangerous, don't do now.
I have a short answer. We don't have 1.5 year. We have today.
Well, that's even more ambitious. But out of curiosity, hypothetically, looking ahead, I don't know, 5, 10 years, what industries or what sectors do you see developing in this cooperation together?
Defense, dual use. This is the next sector I want to develop. I want, as I said, invite our Ukrainian friends to our special economic zone. We want to build port. We want to build in the center of Ukraine. We consider building a hub for Polish export, as I mentioned 20 minutes ago. So I think we can't think about 100 of direction. I think this 5 or 6 is enough. But we started we established 1 week ago first initiative with the drones, with the vehicles. We are acting now. Yes, it's not everything I can say because it is connected with defense sector, but it's I'm not very happy, but it's very necessary for us. We very close cooperate with the PGZ, Polish armor group. So yes, IRP is very engaged in defense sector. We want to develop it.
We understand. Thank you. What would you like?
Well, I would like to add that it is, of course, very important to have the involvement and support of state agencies and state-controlled companies. But at the end of the day, the backbone of any economy is the private business. And private business is led by profitability, by sustainability, and by long-term prospects. And I do believe that if I would ask my colleagues what are the sectors of special appeal and attractiveness in Ukraine, that everybody would start with IT and technology. But I would add to that agriculture for sure, including food processing. I would add construction industry, and I would add as well machine and metallurgy sector, which is part of the tradition, of long-lasting tradition in Ukraine. And this knowledge is not lost. It will be recovered and rebuilt afterwards. But one additional remark, not related to the business, but I think that this is an enormous task for both the Ukrainian state, but European Union, if European Union wants to support it. How to integrate the veterans once the war is over. And this is something which is probably beyond our imagination at the moment, taking into account how many hundreds of thousands of people will be or are disabled and have to be reintegrated. Even if you have a large army standing on the front line, but still you have to do something, and we have to do. I think that this is common responsibility to help to integrate those people back to the normal world of peace and not of war. And this will be not easy, but this is again something where private business, where private entrepreneurs and companies can do a lot in order to help with state support, of course.
That's a very good observation and thought. I see that you,
Of course, yes. This is a very special issue, a special, focus on the people who are in need. And we as a nation, Ukrainians, we always think about each other. There are a lot of people coming from different regions to the central Ukraine, to the west part of Ukraine, abroad. Of course, we respect fully and we're thankful to each person who is on the front line, who protects Ukraine, the borders of Europe, democracy, and international justice. This is about it. We have different platforms like Brave, where we support people coming back from war in different conditions. Here in Davos, we speak about reality, but we speak about future. And the future is to give the light to every family, to every person. There is a light of future. We are the state today working on these projects, different projects, with the private sector, as the government, as the international community. But for sure, for the President Zelensky, for the government today, people who are coming back from the war, veterans, as you mentioned, this is issue number one. Issue about families of lost heroes who fight, who protect, and lost their lives. We think about them as well, about their children, about their wives, mothers, and the families. And this is not something special. It's just about humanity. It's about being just person to person, not always about government to government. Thank you.
Well, that was a little more emotional that we could expect when we talk about reconstruction, recovery, and cooperation between the governments. But I want to go back to that subject and ask about private sector of Ukraine. What do you think of that? What's going on there?
Right, yeah. Definitely we can employ people from after the war if we create jobs. So we need to bring more businesses, right? And your cube is another meaning. So there is one layer, it's a huge project pipeline, which is under umbrella of this brand. So there's different platforms like Dreams, like single project pipeline, public-private partnership projects, the list of privatization companies. So there's many types of lists. Under this brand, all of them are united. To explain in a very simple way to international partners how to use it, where to find this, what's the state of each project, which is feasible, which is not feasible, which is bankable, which is not bankable. So it's the first layer. The second layer, it's a financial tools, schemes, instruments, which can be deployed to realize this project. So here again, we have huge ecosystem which our international partners built already. So I personally was engaged in creating Ukraine facility program, 50 billion for Ukraine. I was an advisor of Prime Minister, and we applied these projects, and it was supported. So now 9.8 billion is for private sector, and many of them, of this 9.8, distributed through national agencies. In Poland, it's Cookie, it's BGK, who is very active to support, to provide insurance and guarantee for businesses which want to operate in Ukraine and don't lose the money, actually. So the US created another fund, 150 million. So almost each country has facilities to stimulate or to provide incentives to operate in Ukraine. So it's a second layer. It's under this umbrella as well, because all programs will be in one place. And the most important layer is what are you doing? It's like a unite entrepreneurships, businesses who run the business, who can combine together project pipeline to select the best one. With this facility, create added value to give jobs, to pay taxes for both countries, because sometimes transfer of technology from countries. And in this way, this platform is like really like a friendly framework and agile and very friendly, but so it will be very easy to understand if you are private investors or a fund we are owner of enterprise, so it should be intuitively clear how to navigate through all this ecosystem which created during the war. So it's very important message right now. So we want to position UR3Cube like a one-stop shop, like Artem mentioned, for all stakeholders around the world who want to understand this landscape of all this layer. For me, it's clear, I understand, because I'm on a daily basis. But for example, if you come to, I don't know, to the company from the United States in energy and say, look, we have something and there are a lot of projects, a lot of bureaucracy, so a lot of program, procurement system. So it's, well, and it's deal breaker actually. So we need to facilitate, we need to simplify and provide a fast track for business to combine financial tools which already exist and project pipeline which you already create. So.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add on this or follow up? Maybe questions to ask? How they're going to ensure all of that?
Maybe I would add a little bit, if I may. Thanks. Superstar today, yeah, tonight, yeah, before party, yeah, to energize everybody. So, well, all this stuff is about, again, evidence. So, when I was a deputy minister of economy, so I tried to implement evidence-based policy. So when we have data without actions, it doesn't mean any sense, right? So, and this is why my team, together with the ministry, created platform to unite businesses, and we call it From Evidence to Action, where we identify all this evidence. The next stage is business engagement. For example, I will tell you about example on the United States. We analyzed how many diaspora businesses in the United States. It's 45,000. They generate 60 billion dollars. So it equals to GDP of the North Dakota. So it's a lot. They can be the channel for investment to Ukraine because they understand both markets. So it's about business engagement. And the third one, it's action, policy actions, financial actions. So actions, I mean, if you want to help this business to develop, you need to provide some incentives, facilities, some create acts which can simplify or simplify some bureaucracy procedures. So yeah, different types of. Poland do a lot to stimulate and to stay Ukrainian businesses in Poland. You know more than me how many you do. So maybe it will be great to hear now.
The most important, what my colleague told us 20 minutes ago, it's private sector is the most important. The place where we are as a Poland is thanks thousands small companies. And of course, what we need to underline, we must cooperate with Ukrainian and Polish private sector. This is a miracle. I remember the situation of Polish economical situation in the start of 90s. As I remember, Mr. President was a student in Krakow. So did I. And we remember how difficult was the situation, how big was unemployment. And now, 30 years later, we are talking about our position in the first 20 countries in the world. Is a miracle. And I'm not optimistic. I know that we will be growing up with Ukraine. We are very similar. And now, also because of this war, we have a closest relationship in the history of the world between Polish nation and Ukrainian nation. It's true. And I not hope, I'm sure, that we will have a common and successful future. I want to underline one more thing. I live in Ukraine and Poland 20 years, 50-50. And I remember the situation in Ukraine. I'm from Vinnytsia in central Ukraine. And I can say like that. Yes.
Neighbors.
20 years. And I remember the situation in Ukraine 20 years ago when a Polish delegation was hosting by a Ukrainian government. I remember how this meeting was. This is completely different situation. I was very proud of professionalism of members of Ukrainian part of our meeting. It were lots of young, very professional, and very high scale, high level prepared guys. I'm very happy to continue this work and this negotiation with such professional staff. So congratulations.
Thank you. Of course. Also, wir sind nicht nun die Nachbarn. Wir sind europäische Familie. Zusammen. Thank you for that. And of course, once again, a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is when Poland was so much in time opened for Ukrainians to be escaping from war, as well as to bring what we need to protect our country. We respect, we remember, it will stay with us forever. As well as with Switzerland, Ukraine Recovery Conference was starting. So once again about recovery, it's again about build back better. It's about something positive, something about realistic, and we do our best from our side. Thank you.
Thank you. Wojtek wanted to add.
Yes, something which is not directly related to the recovery and reconstruction, but please take it as a experience, a report about experience. Of course, everybody is proud that we in Poland have this strain of 35 years of success, but still, this is not given forever. You have to try to improve every time, like in a real company. And last year, Polish business community was challenged by the Prime Minister to start the deregulation and simplification initiative. I'm a member of the steering committee of this initiative. I think we did a lot in order to introduce business-driven deregulation changes. But why I'm mentioning this? Because I think, Mr. President, that we managed to build some kind of national consensus that deregulation, which should simplify doing business in Poland and which should give additional boost of energy and creativity for business community, is something which can be seen as national consensus. And thank you very much for signing so many laws before your term finished. And I hope that we will be able to continue. And I'm mentioning this because in every administration there is natural tendency to regulate. And it is always very difficult to have a force to deregulate. So keep this in mind, because it will be easier if you avoid overregulation now in the process of reconstruction.
We are all praying for the bureaucracy.
Well, we are running out of time, so before we open the floor for Q&As, if there are any questions, I want to see if there are any final thoughts that any of you want to...
Open to Q&A.
All right. Do we have any questions in the audience that we can explain, answer here? Anyone wants to ask anything about you? Okay, there is a question. we have a microphone or somebody can help us here?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, come. Introduce yourself and ask your questions.
So my name is Konrad Brinda. Mr. President, ministers, thank you for hosting this event. I'm a small entrepreneur, so small companies, architect, and 2 small startups. My question is, what can be done, or what is being done for the very beginners like myself? How can we help? Because we are going to be the ones leading the movement and creating the bigger companies in 10 or 15. I'm from Switzerland. Ale jestem Polakiem też.
So, I think that I should answer first. So, you are invited.
Thank you.
Come in 1 week, not earlier than in Friday, because I'm here till Friday. So Monday you are invited to Warsaw if you have a time.
I will be there.
We will show you very big variety of possibilities of acting in Poland. You should know that Polish economical zones are the best zones in Europe. You can get 70% of not the discount. Tax reduction after investment. So, but this is only one example of possibilities in Poland. I think the era of coming back to Poland started just now.
I have a question to you. What is your product?
The main product is design, but the 2 startups, one is related to architecture, and the main product we're working right now will speed up the design process and efficiency probably 20, 30 times. So that's
amazing.
something- yeah,
Amazing.
and
So yeah, sorry for interruption. Look, Ukraine now, many things building from the scratch, right? And we want, like Artem mentioned, build back better. So we don't to replace which is destroyed, but to bring new technology, and a lot of constructions will happen. It's already going. So you are welcome to propose your solutions to any company in Ukraine who are building now the houses, real estate, etc. It's the first point. And the second point, Ukraine is a battlefield, it's a playground to pilot your startups, because there is no legacy like in Europe. It's a good chance for you to validate your product and to scale up globally.
thank you.
Quickly.
And I think I definitely
Is it
believe in
practical?
that.
Is it practical?
Exchanging words.
Practical, not advice, but like recommendations to you.
And I was literally a week after the invasion of Crimea started. Actually flew through Ukraine, so I had my first content. I would love to come.
When you come to Warsaw, we have an office, we have a corporate accelerator in Warsaw as well. We help Polish and European startup go to Ukraine.
Fantastic.
So we can make together deal.
Okay, it's a deal. We have one more question.
I will
And we
just be
can one deal.
very quickly. Just first of all to thank you for the question, because this is where you match and put the flag up for the young generation, for the startups, and this is where Ukraine is on the same page, because a lot of Ukrainians are in Poland, and we're once again thankful to Poland to be there and to support Ukrainians, but worldwide. And a lot of Ukrainians are bringing to the world new decisions, new visions, and expertise. This is where we can match. We are from the ground, on the not on the battlefield, but on the conductions of the reality, but also from your side, where the young generation meets together. This is a fruit. This is the result. And the second issue, where I would like to underline just very quickly, that you are Cube presented today. This is the platform where you can actually find the
Your potential
projects
clients,
or
actually.
something where you can be, presented in Ukraine. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate this, those remarks, the invitations, and thank you for coming to Switzerland. I mean, in the end, it's also my country, so I come to work to Davos for on a weekly basis. So. Also, welcome to.
We are running out of time, and we have a gentleman right there who wants to ask a question. Maybe you can pass the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there are many questions, but maybe just a little statement. Because it was mentioned, I think, by you, our name. I'm the board member of the BGK Bank, Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego. And it is, and it will be a major institution to support Ukraine, not only recovery, but development. Well, you know, it's not time to now. We will address this, you know, in the other occasion, maybe tomorrow at the Ukrainian breakfast. But just 3 facts, yeah? BGK is in Kyiv. Our team is on the ground. Head of the office, I had a call today morning. I offered him to get back to Poland. I mean, it is our duty. It's a regulatory issue. But despite the situation, he stays with 2 members of the staff, young Ukrainian ladies who were on scholarship in our bank in previous years, in 2022 and 23. So they are working every day, you know, and you're welcome. There are some problems with heating. They have to change to another location, but the telephones are working. So that's first. Second, we are part of the, you know, very large European initiative pool to help, to support, and to develop. BGK is at this moment, you know, it's 102 years old institution, but at this moment is the 4th largest development bank in Europe. And we are in the pool of the 3 other large and major players, which is KfW of Germany and banks from France and Italy. We're forming out 2 initiatives. First is the so-called Ukraine Recovery Initiative, and on our behalf, on behalf of Poland, we have signed up 185 million euro, which will be available for the Ukrainian businesses, especially the small businesses, but also municipalities and municipal businesses. Hopefully pretty soon. We are ready. The final negotiations with European Commissions are progressing. But apart from that, we also are part of a so-called flagship fund. We, together with the banks from Germany, France, and Italy, we signed a transaction with the European, or agreement with the European Commission for 220 flagship fund. It's an equity fund to support Ukrainian businesses.
With a dragon capital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's our friendly company.
Amazing, amazing.
And also Amber investment partners. By the way, they carve out their valuable experience pressed by BGK managing the 3Cs infrastructure fund. So altogether, apart from a normal business where we act with ARP, with KUKE, with ministries, we are on the ground. We are in a deep contact, everyday contact with Ukrainian institutions, Ukrainian businesses, and hopefully tomorrow during the Ukrainian breakfast, there will be a major statement or 2, and we will be closer to the peace. You know, we support Ukraine, Slava Ukraini.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.